How the fuck are you, everybody? A little bit of Persuader there if you're not familiar. The singer sounds just like the dude from, and not a lot of people sound like the dude from Blind Guardian. There aren't a lot of singers that sound like that guy. What the fuck? Can I do this? Can I untangle a cord effectively enough? Gosh, here we go. Pedro, how are you? It's hot here too, my friend, and hot here means about 20. I think it's going to be about 27 today. I have my freezer cold. See, I get a liter of cola here. I put it in the freezer for about an hour and a half, and it gets a nice layer of ice on the outside, but it still stays nice and fizzy. Wonderful. I fucking love Coke, dude. Coca-Cola, not cocaine. I think I just got nuked for saying that word. I just got flagged or something. I am not into the hard drugs. Just the devil's lettuce, the doctor said. And man, that is a good time though. And I am nice and cooked today. As a matter of fact, is my day off. It's my last week of work until for the rest of the summer, and we get personal days that we have to use. I forgot to use a personal day. Get off me. Forgot to use a personal day, so I'm using it in my last week of work. Well, the work is literally nil anyway, but if you don't use them, you lose them. So here we are today. I apologize I was not with you guys this weekend. We had a sad weekend here around the house. We had a member of the family, our pet rabbit, Sigrid. We had to be put down on Saturday morning, and unfortunately, I was just not in the mood to be on here with y'all. Honestly, who would be? I tried though. I sat down, I got going, and I'm like, you know what? This is just not going to work for me today. And I hope you guys are doing well, by the way. I hope you guys are doing well today. It's going to be a fun day. We're going to hang out. We're going to go over some plugins. Just letting everybody know that we're good to go here. All right. I am on. All right. See who we can get from the staff today is going to join us. And then we will see what happens. I'm looking forward to today. It should be a good time. Bun indeed, rest in peace to our very beloved Bun. But today I'm just starting to feel a little bit more alive again, wanting to kind of come and hang out with you guys. Also, there's this brand new plugin that's just absolutely burning a hole in my pocket, my metaphorical pocket. So we're gonna hang out with Ampbox today. To unclutter, I am just going to open Ampbox and make sure that it's just Ampbox between us and Freedom here. All right, so we'll do that. Open up Ampbox for you guys. And the one thing I'm going to be honest with you guys right off the top, the main problem I have with this UI is the amount of wasted space. There is a fucking-infinite amount of wasted space in this UI, and I don't like the floaty pedals. I don't like the pedals floating all over the place. And it would be cool if there was enough room to put the pedals down here, and there is and isn't. So if you want to be able to bypass them and whatnot, you have to kind of. To be honest with you guys, I'm not a huge fan of the UI. It looks nice and it's fun, it's easy to operate, but there's a lot of wasted space. And that's one thing as a product designer that you try hard for. And UI designers, they try hard to make sure there's no wasted space while also, making things large and, kind of in your face. In this case, they have given you the look at the front. They've given you the look at things here, and they've also given you like the look of the cabinet, but the cabinet's kind of wasted space. I'll be honest with you guys, 100%. But you can use it to kind of tuck things. Like this is the cab section here, so if you want to keep it open, we're just gonna leave it right there for now. and you can kind of set things up to the way you see fit. There's going to be some outside ambiance today, and we'll see how it goes. All right, so let's get off the top here. Man, that sounds awesome just with everything flat. I'm already enjoying how this sounds. Now this, I'm gonna need Bo in here for this one. A little bit hot. Yep, this is all. But we were unable to actually figure out which exactly. I didn't read through the conversation in full, but I know the guys were hard at work dissecting this one and wanting to get some more information as to like exactly which mods, this, that, the other thing, and really making sure that they have everything in place. Now, I don't really like, even though they're using red wires, I don't really like the Mercurial audio cabinet section that they include. I prefer to go with the IRs they include. The impulse responses that they include are incredible, and every single one of them. And there's a long list. We're going to be going, this is the only cab. This was, I thought, a little bit, I didn't like that there was only one new cabinet that was included with this amp. I wasn't a big fan of that. And I think there could have been more than one IR included here, boys. I think there could have been. Although there is a really, really nice selection. You've got a Friedman, a Mesa, a Marshall, I'm assuming this is Ignator, or is this Engel? Who knows? I'm going to have to assume. I'm actually not going to assume. SLO 100. So you've got your Soldano cabinet. A J cab, not sure what the J cab actually is. I have to go and look into that. And then you've got the 6160 special, but there was only one IR included with the 1987X special here. Hey, this is what I'm looking for. Bo. Now, Bo's going to be your answer on all of this stuff. Everything to do with this amp. This dude knows his Marshalls. Very, very much knows his Marshalls. So please do make sure that you ask Bo any questions that you might have. Although, like I said, Bo, weren't you guys discussing, you guys are kind of like deep in conversation about this amp and which mods, and I just, obviously, with what we had going on this weekend, I just didn't have time to look through everything that you guys were chatting about. So yeah, but this thing already, I haven't done anything to it, and it already sounds sick. So your top input is normal plexi, paralleled when jumped. Channel 2 is the Jose. Okay, let's try that. Channel 1 bottom, that's kind of what I assumed. I'm going to be honest with you. Because that one does sound different. I like how each channel has its own its own set of controls here, so you can kind of go back and forth. That's pretty cool, depending on you, if that's your thing or not. Some people may or may not like that. We'll see. Wow, this sounds fucking good, guys. If only the Iceman would stay in tune today. I think it'll stay in tune eventually. We'll get it there. We will get there. Today is my triumphant day, useless day off, because at work there's not a lot going on right now. Not that to say that I don't have work to do. I'm just saying that it's very slow the last week of school, and I am very much looking forward to my months off. Now, that being said, I am going to be with you guys fairly often on this streamage, and I'm finally going to get around to creating the pre-recorded content. Very excited to start turning that stuff over. Now, the downside of this plugin is that I'm assuming all what puts to bed the idea of Spark being brought in. If those that are not familiar, now basically Mercurial Audio has been around for a very long time. They've been around longer than, STL Tones, longer than Neural DSP, arguably, I think on par, about as long as the guys longer than STL, but not the guys from Ignite. The guys from Ignite that are doing stuff with STL, those guys have been around. Obviously, if you've been using amp since a while, you'll know they've been around for a long time. They've been doing their own thing for a long time. I would love to see another Ignite Amps freebie, though, just to bring us back to the old school, bring us back to the old days. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think if we ever see a freebie again, it'll probably be through STL. That's all. Honestly, that's great. I'm happy for what they're doing. All that said, moving along, Mercurial Audio did a number of plugins, and they have a couple of those plugins have made their way into Ampbox. A couple of them have not. And it's kind of a bummer, really. The SS11X, which I will show you hopefully before we get out of here. I'm going to remind myself by doing that right now. The SS11X. Hopefully this doesn't make a lot of horrible sounds. Okay, good. Gain through gain. And I'm there. That reminds me to show this to you later on. That thing is amazing. I would love to see that in here. I also wanted to see Spark in here, and that just never happened. Spark being, in my opinion, still the best Marshall plugin that's ever been released by anyone. That's my opinion. Just my opinion. Maybe not yours or anybody else's, but mine indeed. So that being said, and it's just one of those plugins that I had hoped was going to find its way in here, but it did not. And that was kind of a bummer, because I really hoped it would. This is a nice trade-off, but at the same time, I'm still, hey, what's up with that Spark, right? Whoa, I fucked that riff up real bad. I was just sort of riffing anyways. Pedro said it. The boost sounds amazing, but I think that it's pretty much a universal thing that a boosted Marshall amp sounds amazing. A tube screamer into Marshall has been kicking ass for years and years and years. Although back in the olden days, back in like, you know, in the first day, you know, the OG days of the tube screamer, often the tube screamer was used for more of a lead boost as opposed to being used in the traditional boost fashion. Where that started becoming a thing was in the metalcore and hardcore eras, arguably maybe in the punk rock era as well. Some guys were doing it. That traditional sense of, you know, turning the drive down, level up, tone up, and then just hammering the front end of an amp. That really didn't start until like, you know, let's say we'll call it late 90s, early 2000s, as that was kind of when that started to happen. So the tube screamer has many different uses with a Marshall amp. And then, so, you know, the modern way of boosting things, gosh, does it ever sound good with a Marshall? Oh, a cranked Marshall, no less. I will. You know what? I'm going to do something just like that. I have another idea. I'm going to do as he is asking. Heavy metal chainsaw. And we'll go to the SD1. And when we do that, we're also going to go to this little fella right here. Why didn't that little fella there turn on? There he is. This is a great riff, eh? Remember the first time you heard this riff? How great is this riff right here? Where is it? Oh, no, that's not what I was looking for. When it comes in right here. What a riff. These guys make standard scale guitars work in A standard tuning, and I fucking don't know how. I don't know how they make A standard work on a standard scale. Those guys must... I don't actually... I have no idea. Really, they've been playing just on... The one dude played on a standard Explorer for years, and I just have not been able to make A work on a standard scale, like your standard scale guitar. I have not been able to do it on the 20, you know, unless it's like a 27.5. I feel like A and A flat start to get really, the intonation is, I don't know. Yeah, right into the mic with drink sounds. Woo! All right. I have something for you. I'm going to embarrass myself a little bit here, but let's see what we got. Oh, let me try that again. I can't get that little... Can't do it the Zach Wild way. Can't remember the song exactly. I'm butchering off. Yeah, that's if you're just showing up, I'm butchering Zach Wild / Aussie riffs all day today. Fuck, does that ever sound good, boys? Woo! That sounds good. No, not you. I wasn't wooing at you, ma'am. Somebody heard a wee outside in this neighborhood. If the wrong ma'am hears you go wee, yeah, no, you don't want that. Volume 2 to 0, volume 1 to 6 or 7. All right, let's do it. Volume 2 to 0, volume 1 to 6 or 7. And such is right. Let's push that up about. Yeah, you are correct, sir. That sounds great. Thank you. Does this ever sound good? Holy shit. Wow. This sounds awesome, guys. I piked her again. Oh, god damn it. I piked her again. I done it. See there. Perfect. What did I do to do that? No idea. Pardon me. I need to adjust here. Sitting on things, and yeah, you guys get it. That is obviously not the exact Zach Wild settings and everything else, but it's sounding pretty good. Mop, indeed. Got you. Wow, guys, this is the brand new module that just came out for Mercuriall Audio's Ampbox platform. If you're curious, what are the other amps available in the platform? You get them one by one. There is a Bogner, okay? There is an Engel E530. There is a Mesa Boogie Triaxis. There is a Mesa Boogie dual rectifier. There is the most complete 5153 on the market today, and that is the 6163. It has the original and the stealth version. If with the flick of a switch, you can have the stock or the stealth depending on you and your decisions. We're going to get to that at some point in the next few hours. I'm going to be on here for a good while today, playing some guitar with you guys, hanging out, talking shit. Just letting you guys know, for if you're watching this after the fact, this is a live broadcast. There are people here that I am talking to. I had this one guy, had the only negative comment we've ever gotten on YouTube was on my bass hammer demo. And the guy was just like, this guy just like talks. It's like he doesn't even play. He just like talks. He doesn't do anything. This is the worst demo ever. Yeah, guys, it's a live stream. It's not a demo. Like, I get it. For people that are craving those 10 to 20 minute maximum length demos for products, those are coming. Guys, they are coming ASAP. And so you'll have to listen to a lot less of the If my stories are a problem for you, these will probably solve that problem. All right, so here we go. Getting back to the tones. And this is the brand new module that just came out for the Ampbox platform. And boy, oh boy, here's one thing about these guys. The guys at Mercuriall Audio, they don't pump out and pound out 9 amps a year. And why? Because they model everything they model and everything that they do from scratch. They model from analog. They model each and every little tiny component in that amp effectively. They do it the right way. They don't use hidden tricks. They don't use black box modeling. This is straight up white box modeling. If you don't know the difference, we can talk about that at a later date. Essentially, one is doing it from analog and doing things, openly. This is what we're doing, and the other one is a bit of a different bird, a bit different bag. So there's nothing wrong with either one. I'm just saying that this just happens to be a company that is still doing things straight up. No tricks, no, nothing, just treats here. And this also has a number of pedals involved. You've got a graphic EQ you can throw up front. You've got a couple of different compressors. You've got a wah. Okay, going on, you've got overdrive, 3 different types of overdrives. My personal favorite is the Greed Smasher, which is based on a Mesa Boogie Grid Slammer. And we've got, as mentioned, we've got a few different preamps. We've got a bunch of different cabinets, and we are going to start switching around some of the cabinets as well. For now, I'm sticking with what is likely the matched cab, and that is just simply a simple, easygoing, just a straight up 57 on a Marshall 412. That's all this is. There's no multi-mix here. There's nothing, no voodoo going on. This is just a simple 57 on a Marshall. Goddamn, 57 on a Marshall. Zach sound is 35% amp and OD 6 VMs. You know what? I feel like with Zach Wild's tone is long. Man, I'm sorry, guys. I am mining. Absolutely mining at my flesh right now. Right now in my neck of the woods, the black flies are absolutely fucking horrendous. Black flies and skeeters, and I like to get out early to play my disc golf rounds before my local courses get too congested and too busy. I like to go out nice and early, and going out nice and early often gets really wet feet. I walk through a lot of fucking damn worm webs, when you want to call the worms that fall from the trees and they leave the webs. I walk through a lot of those on a daily basis as well, and I get absolutely eaten alive. And those that do anything outside in the summertime, in the early morning or during, I guess Bo's in Arizona, so you can't really, he doesn't really, I don't know. Bo, what do they have? Do they even have bugs? Do bugs even survive in Arizona, or is it just like straight up rattlesnakes everywhere? Ah. Man, this thing feels and plays. Everything is incredible that I've got going on here. Everything I'm feeling this tone. I'm absolutely going to save this tone right here. Boom. Save as what? Save as. Zach's beef. There. It's not as. It's just confirm. Flies are the worst. Man, it's the craziest thing. We've got a lot of ticks happening in ooh, I almost said it. honestly, I've made so many points as to literally where I live, but I just like don't want to be like, I live on this place. Not that it fucking matters that much. Yeah. So I hope you guys are doing great today. We've had people in and out. I appreciate you, whoever you are, coming in and out. If you're in the chat, say hello. Always say hi. I'm just trying to get back to normal. The place is a little weird. I'm sure if everybody out there that's had, like, man, that's like her enclosure, our rabbit, her enclosure is gigantic. Okay, well, like, we're not talking about an animal that lives in one of those tiny little cages with an open door. This animal lived in a goddamn castle, like basically a 3-story castle that was built to house many rabbits outside. This thing, she had it all by herself, and with an open door policy where at all times she could come in and out if she wanted. Never chewed a damn thing outside her enclosure either. We got lucky on that one. So when you go and man, it's just such a huge whole part of the house. So when you walk into that room and you have such routine going, it's tough to like break all of that off. So we couldn't bear to get rid of this this giant enclosure. So we are going to retrofit and we are going to renovate it into a cat condo that the boys can hang out in. Going to clean it up extraordinarily well. And then we're going to make it so the boys can just kind of do their thing and have another place to chill out. We're going to put some cushions and some things going on, clean it up, give it a little paint, decorate, and we couldn't bring ourselves to get rid of it. So now it's going to be repurposed. Gonna go grab some food, back in a minute. Food is good. If only we could send each other food that would just like appear like Star Trek style. I'm not much of a Star Trek guy, never have been. I'm more of a fan of the wars myself, although these days, holy shit, are they ever destroying that shit. They are, man, they are just beating that dead horse and going to straight to the teat. Ruining that thing right there, straight up. So I mean, Star Trek, however, has always been pretty well preserved. I don't dislike it. It's just never really been fully my thing. Sorry, guys. But that was the coolest thing that they had in Star Trek, was the ability to like just materialize food. Holy fuck, that would be like. That'd be like a weed smoker's like worst and best thing ever. Like, and no cost to me. Like, how would that work? What would you replenish? How would you replenish things? Is there a cartridge? You know, like how would that technology work? I'd be very curious. I don't have to pay for anything, and I can just materialize as much as I want. You realize how fat people would get? It'd be insane. Holy fuck, this sounds so good. Wow. Wow. Holy shit. This thing is blowing my mind. I am fully on board, and this thing is done very, very nicely. I am fully interested in what they're selling me on this one. Let's go to the Greed Smasher, rather, and get a little bit jiggy with that. Yeah, there you go. Interesting. Man, we get into some weird shots on the Amp Sim show. And by the way, if you're wondering, like, why is it called just the Amp Sim show instead of all the little shows I used to do, like Doom Tomb and everything? You know what? Let's just make it easy. Call it the Amp Sim show, and if it's going to be a Doom Tuber, then it's going to be called the Amp Sim show episode, whatever, and it'll be and then Doom Tomb 2, Doom Tomb 5, whatever. Okay, just so you guys understand how that's working from now on. Everything's going to be called the Amp Sim show unless it's a review. So all the live streams can be easily sorted into one thing, the Amp Sim show. Okay, and all the pre-recorded stuff will be titled accordingly. What am I using today? Well, we're checking out Ampbox. I don't really want to move from this particular piece of gear. And I also kind of regret moving away from... actually, let's go back to the Tube Screamer for a minute. Let's go to the mod. Let's back that way off. And let's go from right about here. I think I still like Spark a bit better, but it's different. It's just different. If you have not purchased Mercurial Audio Spark at this point in your plugin endeavors, please head over and do that right now, ASAP, or wait for a sale if that's more your thing. Wait for a sale and grab it. One of the next plugins we're going to have a look at today is going to be the SS11X, and I'm going to show you guys the extreme versatility of that. We're going to go through Ampbox a little bit, and then we're going to jump over to AmpHub in the second half, which will be in about, well, no, I mean, it's not going to be in 20 minutes. It was too much to go over in 20 minutes, but we're also going to be checking out, just so you guys are aware. Let's head over here and have a look at this bad boy right. Oh, where is it? What is it? There it is. All right, this bad boy right here. This is the Meridian 31. And this is based off of Bo. Bo can tell you, if I'm not mistaken, this is just a rebranded JSX. A rebranded XXX. Yeah. Okay, so this is a rebranded XXX 1 or 2 because they rebranded oh my God. Peavey does some fucking weird things. Okay, we're going to talk about this amp and everything else in the second half, but just so you guys know where we're going in the second half, this thing I have not even jumped into yet. I have not had a chance. I cannot wait to jump into it. It's going to be, I'm stoked on it. I'm stoked on their love for Peavey, and we're going to get into it a whole bunch in the second half of the stream. But for now, we're going to stick with our Ampbox, which I am just absolutely in love with. And we're going to go easy going. Let's go to the non-mod channel. Let's not jump it. And let's just chill. Not bad. All right, let's kind of just stroll around a little bit. I have kind of settings I like with Marshalls, and they're always kind of like a starting point for me. If you're just joining us, my name is Tyler. You're joining the Amp Sim universe, and this is the Amp Sim show, which is on the Amp Sim universe. And today we are talking about the Mercurial Audio, the brand new, the brand spanking new 1987X SG, and that is the brand new, we'll call it the brand new model involved in the the Ampbox Oh my God, can I get this right at all? In the Ampbox platform. And as mentioned before, there are several other amps. We're mostly sticking with this one today, and I'll probably end up doing a whole episode at some point very soon on the entire platform. And we've done it before. Every amp that you see here is incredible. The Euphoria, amazing. That is based on a Bogner Ecstasy, if I'm not mistaken. The U530 based on the Angle E530 preamp, phenomenally popular. Very, very nice. The Triaxis, the Reaxis, which is based on the Mesa Boogie Triaxis. Fantastic little preamp that existed from the 80s and 90s. It still exists to this day, if I'm not mistaken. And we've also got the EVH 6160 or 5153 rather. This is the 6163. And it includes two different amps. If you go here, and if you hit this button right here, the S and the C, okay, you get the stealth model and the original model. Now, again, if I'm gonna have to ask Bo when it comes to the difference between those two, but yeah, you have access to them. They do sound different. And I never had a chance to own the stealth version. I owned the, just the white Tolex standard EVH 5153. And I still have access to said amp, although it is now with a new owner. Now, I'll go over just some of the tones that you can get with this, and just so you guys are aware, and we'll chug a little bit on this thing right here. We're going to use a different cab. So you get a little bit of that, or you go to the OG. So this is a phenomenal sounding 5153. But right now, our job is to showcase this amazing amp right here. And that is the brand new 1987 X. Well, I mean, I'm not going to say it's my job. This is not a paid promotion of any kind. Caleb, how are you? Nice to see you, my friend. Sounds pretty darn good so far. All right, moving on to a different channel. So you guys get it. This thing is pretty sweet. I'm gonna scratch the sniffer here. Sorry, not picking, just scratching. Calm down. 3120. most of what the difference is aesthetics. In my opinion, I mean, yeah, there's resonance controls and there's that, blah, blah, blah. But between the stealth and the OG, let's just be honest here, guys. The stealth looks way cooler. You've got the EVH like stripes and everything is blacked out and it looked badass. Such a badass looking amp. All right. Can I try the new modulation? Wow, that's a phenomenal sounding IR in comparison to the other stuff. New modulation. The micro pitch shift. I can try that as a matter of fact. That's what you got. I actually wasn't aware that there was a new that was involved, so that's pretty sweet. Thanks for reminding me. And then also there are some distortion pedals as well. We're not even going to bother with them today because I just don't really want to. There's a metal zone that, if I'm going to be straight up honest with you guys, is not a very accurate metal zone. If I'm just being straight up here, but they have changed it though. I just noticed that they've added another couple of knobs and maybe made it more accurate. So I'm going to reserve my opinion because originally the free version of the metal zone wasn't superb, and it looks like they've put some work into it. So I'm going to reserve my opinion until after I've tried that, although that will not be right now with this Marshall right here. There's also a Boss DS1, which is one of my least favorite distortion pedals of all time, and a Rat. And actually, you know what? Maybe I do want to use the Rat. Let's use the Rat for just a minute or two here, just to make it angry. Let's use the other channel though. Nice. That's pretty cool. I don't know if the Rat's your thing or not. It seems to have made a bit of a resurgence. It's weird. It's almost like there are people using it for metal now, which is pretty cool. You can definitely blend it, and I wouldn't say the Rat is going to be okay by itself. For a high gain tone, maybe you could get it going that way. I don't know. I do see it coming to be more of a thing now where people are definitely stacking it with different drive pedals, especially it's been a thing for ages where people would stack it with a fuzz pedal. Yes, before the fuzz pedal usually, so to get more of a bite on the tone before it hits the fuzz pedal. That's been being done for ages and ages. But I haven't seen it being done. Yeah, dude, the Rat on bass. Hey, Eddie, what's going on? How are you? This is a very, very nice sounding. Nice. Nothing like singing mock black metal when you've got like rebel country in the background. It's a great solo. Johnny Hyland did the solos for this song, if I'm not mistaken. That sounds nice. Real nice, guys. Wow. That sounds really good. Although I think this impulse response almost sounds too good in comparison to the rest of the stuff in that list. Life's good today. Life is getting better every day. It's been hard, like as mentioned, getting it off my chest. It's really tough when such a big part of your home is no longer there. It screws up everyone's routines. Everyone's daily lives are completely altered. And it is what it is. It takes some getting used to around here. A friend of mine was just like, man, you should just get another rabbit. And I'm like, no, we broke the mold with that one. Got very lucky. Never chewed a damn thing. Sweetest animal alive. Never bit anybody, never nothing. So we are one and done with on the rabbit side of things. And yeah, we are going to, like I said, we're making a cat condo. It's going to be fun. And, but yeah, trying to get used to that difference in routine has been something indeed. You know, I tried, guys, you might have seen it in the lead up to one of the last streams. I was supposed to use some audio assault stuff, and I didn't get a chance to use it. And I didn't get a chance to use it because after I installed it, it wouldn't show up. It wouldn't show up on my list. It's almost like it installed itself to another random folder, but it didn't ask me where I wanted to. I don't know. I have to go and uninstall it, start again, and really figure it out because it was installed. Everything was fine. I saw, I would start up Reaper and then you would see it on the screen, like it'll say like amp locker. Okay, you install it. Oh my God. The language I'm looking for here. It's searching for new plugins. It finds it, and then when I go looking for it, it's not there. So yeah, I got to figure out what's going on with that. And when I figure out what's going on with that, then I'll be able to use it in a stream. Unfortunately, until that happens, I got nothing for you. It does the whole capture in seconds. Very interesting. How good are the captures? I'm curious. I'm kind of over all this capture software already, though. I'm not saying that, like, NAM Universal is not gonna be fun. I like NAM a lot. I just don't, man. Like, do we all need a profile and capture and plugin? Wow, we got 10 people in here? I just looked up and there was 10 people. Hello, how are you? My name is Tyler. Welcome to the AmpSim universe. Welcome to the AmpSim show, episode 4. Today, we are going over the brand spanking new Mercuriall Ampbox 1987 X-SG. And this thing is a Jose modded Marshall. It is very, very, very cool. If you're not sure what a Jose modded Marshall is, just literally go to Google and type in Jose modified Marshall, and you'll get the whole rundown, I'm sure, of who Jose Arredondo and his whole history and everything else. 11 folks. Wow, did somebody do a sharing over somewhere at some point? And you can get some mean tones with this thing. And this is not just to be doing dad rock and classic rock, and it's going to be good for even modern capabilities as well, especially if you want to use these modern tube screamer settings like this. This thing sounds absolutely crushing, and it can be done. You can use it for everything from Lenny Kravitz style style stuff. I was just playing over Always on the Run earlier on this, and it sounded pretty fun. I'm not going to be doing you the disservice of making you guys listen to me learn a riff. That's not going to happen. So wait. No, there's this weird little slide that I just couldn't figure out yet. So anyways, Green Day, Fear Factory, Green Day to Fear Factory, just all on its own. AC/DC to Fear Factory, all on its own. That's a very wide margin there of things you can do in between those two artists. You know what I mean? Like, Marshalls have always been good for that. This, I would imagine, is also going to sound incroyable for some amazing lead tones. Let's mess with a little bit of lead tones. Let's just see what we got here. That sounds pretty good to me, anyways. Whoa, boys, whoa. Yeah, so you guys hear that it can also do, I mean, let's be honest. Whoa! Again, I dropped it! Oh, man down. Man down. This time, I don't even know where it went. So I'm going to have to go find that pick later. I hope I find it. It's my last Fred Kelly dimpled pick. Fred Kelly picks, guys. They're pretty rad. So if you're in the chat, by the way, say hello. Hey, how's it going? Social Rot. Nice to see you. Hey, buddy, I used that Demogorgon pedal on my Bogger and amp knob contact, and oh, nice. I'm very happy for you. I'm very happy for anybody that bought the Demogorgon. And I was going to get to some Audiority stuff today, and it's going to be maybe not what was expected. I was hoping to use the 8100 today. Oh, what are you doing here? I was hoping to use the Solidus 8100 for a little bit today with the Demogorgon, but we'll see what we end up getting to. We are at the hour point. What's going on? Man, this is an unreal plexi, to be honest. Yeah, hell yeah. I forgot that I had the delay on there for a second. It sounds nice. Very nice. I'm loving this IR too. I'm going to try out some other stuff with this, but in the second half, this is going bye-bye. And we're going to get this open right here. So goodbye, Ampbox. We'll see you later. Thank you so much for your time. In the second half of the stream, we're going to be going over this bad boy, this bad motherfucker right here. We're going to not only are we going to go over the plugin itself, but we're going to go talk to you about the changing of names and models in some of the Peavey amps and how it can get kind of confusing kind of quickly. And this could also point out as to why they're not a company, really. Are they still a company? Is Peavey still a company at this point? Are they still a company? I don't know. I mean, they have definitely changed. They've definitely done some very strange things over the years. So we're going to talk about Peavey as a company. We're going to talk about AmpHub as a plugin. And we're hopefully going to get into some other chatter as well. If you guys have any questions during the Amp Sim show, by all means, throw them at me. By all means, throw them at me. See what's going on and see how you guys are doing. Let me know. How are you guys doing? Hopefully you guys are doing really truthfully great. And we're gonna find a decent song here, and then I'm gonna go real quick, and we're gonna see you guys in about just a couple of minutes here. Guys, give me about 3 or 4 minutes. I'll be back with you. The standard break, and it's like as mentioned, the second half we're gonna be amp hubbing it up. If you guys have any questions or in the meantime for Eddie or Bo when it comes to Peavey amps, throw them out there. Eddie is our resident Peavey amp ninja. He knows. Okay. I'll be right back. Thanks so much for being with us. Buddy, that was it. 2 or 3 minutes is all I'd be needing. If you know what I mean. But hopefully you guys dig that cover. I noticed one thing, that the YouTube algorithm doesn't care about covers. I don't think it's allowed. Oh, there's my pick. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, then. There was another comment. I guess I left my camera on when I took a break at one point. There's another comment, another video where the guy's like, geez, what the fuck is with that chair? Well, you see, in a house where we have animals, there just isn't a budget for one of those, like, one of those, like, those grown man gaming thrones with, like, the multiple colors, and, and it's, looks like they're sitting in this gigantic multicolored throne. I just don't have the space, and they're not that comfy. I don't need that. I don't need it. So why am I going to go get a chair like that? What I do around here is, because my cat likes to scratch things, and we do trim their claws. We do not declaw, but we trim just the edges off sometimes. And yeah. he still manages to scratch on things sometimes, and that's fine because I only paid about $30 for this chair, and when it's done, I'm gonna go get another one for 30 bucks. Him scratching it does not concern me because it's still comfortable, and I don't care how it looks. So there's the answer to the chair. The person was nice enough to delete it after I responded to it very sarcastically. So yeah, anyways, we're gonna go into this. I was not expecting it to be that heavy right off the bat. Really? Is that what this is giving me? For realsies? Okay, now, let's try to do this math. There are two versions of the XXX. Okay, the two versions of the XXX. The second version of the XXX is simply the first version of the JSX. Okay, it's rebranded. It's just simply the original JSX rebranded to be the XXX 2.0. Now, if I'm not mistaken, the XXX 1.0 became the 3120. Let's get into that. Let's get into that right now with Eddie, and let's see what we can do, if we can clear some of that up. Sorry for the outside noise. I've got a window right here. It's 26, 27 degrees in my neck of Canada, which is a pretty high temperature for us. And I'm not too cooked in here because I've been smart enough to keep the window. Like, we have a really nice breeze because we have the largest freshwater lake in the entire world, literally a couple hundred feet from my front door, and it creates this wonderful breeze that's always ripping through. So yeah. Sounds fucking rad so far. Let's go on to this channel. Tight, mid, or loose. I like that. Now, I'm assuming that what they did here was that because the original XXX had like strippers on it, it had like a stripper graphic. Like, isn't that what it was? Was like the diamond plate had like literally a woman, like a sexy lady graphic on it, and that probably didn't sell too well to all people. Pretty dated look. And the amp was a lot better than just being labeled this kind of cheesy hype machine. And the XXX is actually quite an awesome sounding amp. If I'm not gonna lie to you, that thing was awesome. I remember a guitar player in my jam space had one. It was like one of the it was the main loaner amp of the jam space. So anybody came to that jam space to play guitar and did not bring an amp, they were getting the XXX, which was a pretty good deal. Man, that sounds great. Wowzers, that sounds really fucking good. Wowzers. So the XXX2 is the JSX. The 3120 is the original XXX, but with EL34 tubes instead of the 6L6s. Now, if I'm not mistaken, there's a number of stories, but Eddie, did you hear the same stories that I heard with regards to the first XXX being designed for George Lynch? Because I was told that the original, I read, in fact, several different accounts that the original XXX was designed for George Lynch. And that, in fact, it was originally supposed to have, it was supposed to be called something else. I'm not even trying to sound brutal with it right now. I'm trying to get more of a rock sound, and it's working. I'm not even boosted yet. Am I boosted? I'm not even boosted, Joe. I'm not even fucking boosted, bro. You know what fucking drives me nuts? And this is an old guy rant, I suppose. Maybe an old guy rant, but holy fuck. Listening to children ages, I want to point out that I work in education. So I'm come across a lot of kids. I hang out with a lot of kids at work. And most of them are amazing. But one thing that is going on right now with kids is that they are calling each other bruh. Bruh, bruh. They're saying it like that, all breath, bruh. And we're talking about 10 and 11-year-old boys calling each other bruh. And you're like, holy, okay, we got to stop this. Stop this madness. Just, but why? Just stop it. Okay, I'm not even going to explain why. Just stop it. You sound ridiculous. This thing is brutal. The 3120 sleeper. It's a sleeper. Wow, what a sleeper amp this is. So far, so good. This thing sounds brutal. Whoa, the mid gave me a little more. What's going on? And then loose. Why is it progressively get louder? Just stop it. I realize that's just part of the amp, but it's irritating to compensate for that in the sounds pretty good. Although I will say I like it best on the tight. Sounds good. Yeah, it sounds better on tight than it sounds okay on loose. Or sorry, okay on mid. Loose is a bit different, although I assume that that's kind of the desired effect and we're going to want to use it for something not chugs at that point. If you wanted to use it with like a fuzz pedal, I would advise maybe using it with the mid channel. We're going to find out. We're going to try that maybe in a little bit. We've got some decent stomps on board here. Oh, I don't want to listen to this cover. It's bad. Nope. Silver Talon up in the house. No, it's not what I know. I didn't ask for this pedal. Sorry. No, sir. No. Go back. Go back to, nope. Let's do it the plumes. And because the plumes is pretty rad. Let's see what we got here. I know Eddie likes the plumes. If I ever got a chance to ask George Lynch 3 questions, that would be one of them. What would be the other 2? I don't know. I'm not sure. What would you guys... If you guys know who George Lynch is, I realize that's reaching for some of y'all. Maybe you guys are some of y'all too young. He was a guitar player for a band called Dawkin, and then went on to the Lynch Mob, and also went on to just his own solo stuff. Classically known for a song called Mr. Scary, and it's a true pioneer in shred guitar. Truly one of the. I mean, apart from Dream Warriors, which is a song from a Freddy movie. I would be completely honest with you in telling you that beyond Dream Warriors and Mr. Scary, I just could not name you a song. Just like I couldn't name you more than 2 Steve Vai songs. But these guys are monsters that just sold a lot of guitars. I mean, if you go and look at the selection of amazing looking George Lynch guitars out there, that I would, goddamn, there's a few of them that I would just love to. Oh gosh, there's a couple I would just love to own myself. But what would you do? What would you ask George Lynch if you could? I'm curious. This doesn't even seem like it's got EL34s in it, though. One of the greatest things that George Lynch ever did for the world of guitar was a 212 ported cabinet from a company called Genz-Benz. Genz-Benz. Very short-lived, a very short-lived affair, and it gave birth to one of the greatest cabinets in the history of fucking guitar. If you are ever out there, take my word for it, okay? Take my word for it right now, from me to you. Those cabinets are they're fairly rare. They're kind of hard to find, but they're not carrying a lot of worth. The name of the brand isn't huge. So if you see the Genz-Benz ported 212 cabinet in your neck of the woods for sale, they pop up in the weirdest places. Buy that motherfucker. Buy it. I know at least 2 IR developers right now looking to do that cabinet. And so if you don't like it yourself, there's probably, let me know, because there's probably a couple of IR developers that would take it off your hands and cover shipping and all that jazz. So that's just a little tip. I would love to see more. There's only a couple of IR packs out there in the world that knew the secret. This is one of those cabinets that sounds like a 412 and it's only a 212. It sounds that you could turn your body and it's moving enough air and it sounds to the effect like a 412 cabinet. So, and no matter what head you put, I had one for years. Then when I sold all my analog gear, off it went. But man, this thing was my main cabinet because I didn't like hauling around my crank rev. It was because on account of it weighing 1 billion pounds. So this is the original XXX, was remade into the 3120 and given EL34 tubes instead of the standard 6L6. And gosh, guys, it sounds really good. It's a really nice sounding. I've never had a chance to try the 3120s in person. Eddie, have you actually tried this amp in person? Is it one of the ones? Because Eddie, it seems like you've tried all of the Peavey amps. I'm curious. That sounds really good. It just does. It just sounds good. All right, here's a story about Lancaster. Guys, so if you remember, do you remember Rosen Digital? Well, if you have the Rosen Digital libraries, it's the same. They are the same files, the same everything. When Lancaster Audio merged or bought out or did something with Rosen Digital, essentially all the Rosen Digital libraries were ported over. Nothing was really done to them. They were just renamed, and they still exist to this day. So yeah, the Lancaster libraries are quite awesome. Quite awesome. If you've never had a chance to use any of the Rosen Digital / Lancaster stuff, you really oughta. They've got some really cool stuff that you should try, especially if you like your blends. Especially if you're a blendy McBlenderton type person like myself, the multi-mic, minimal files. You get smaller packs, but each one is a blend that's had a lot of work put into it. Yes, they have a Genz-Benz pack. I think also Recabinet, if I'm not mistaken, Recabinet used to have a pack as well. And I won't rest. Okay. My favorite IR developer on earth, Dr. Bonker's Sound Lab, he's into the weirdest cabinets anywhere. He's into strange cabinets. The stranger the cabinet, as long as it's a great sounding cabinet, the stranger the better. He wants to do a pack based on that cabinet, guaranteed. That's what he wants to do. He wants to do a pack. And it makes me happy on the inside that he really wants to tackle one of my favorite cabinets ever made. He really wants to tackle the Gensben's ported 212, and I want to make that happen for him. He needs to find one in the area and work it out. So man, it would be cool to see that happen. All right, so this thing sounds rad. This is the AmpHub. If you've got the subscription, I think it's like $10 a month. If you don't have it and you've never tried it, I would say take $30 and get it for 3 months. That's it. Just start with. And then figure out after that if it's worth it to you. If it's worth it to you, wait until you're busy. Any subscription service out there, I would say wait until you're busy. Have something that you'll be able to pause it and kind of re-up, pause, re-up when you're busy. And because if you're not busy, what good is a subscription service if you're not actively, you're not actively sitting down to, whether it be a rehearse or whether it be record or write music, whatever it is that you're doing, create content, whatever it is that you're doing. If you're not doing it on the regular, then subscription services are not for you. There's no point. That being said, with AmpHub, if you find you're an active guitar player, you really are playing an hour a day, 2 hours a day, 3 hours a day, you're writing a ton, you're learning a lot of covers that have a lot of different types of music involved, and you really just want to learn them authentically, whatever it is that gets you going, this is a really good way to do that. A phenomenal, like this, I would advise AmpHub certainly over Amplitude. I think you're just going to get way more quality out of this right here. Of course, there are going to be a few fewer components for sure, but the amount of amps, let's look through the amp list here and let's go to the screen. And you look at the amount of amps that are available right now. This is pretty overwhelming. There is a ton in here, and none of this, from my opinion, there's only maybe one amp in here that I don't necessarily really like. I'll keep that one to myself for now because I took some shit for it last time I mentioned it. I'm just being honest with you folks. Not my favorite amp. Oh boy. Now the thing is about this is it's not just your average selection either. That's the thing I like about it. It's not just your average selection of like the usual suspects that every developer is like, oh my gosh. No. As far as I'm understanding it, the way that these guys do this, the way that these guys do things is a bit different. The gear that kind of comes across their desk literally comes across their desk. I can't say I'm not going to say without permission. I'm not going to say any more than that, but it's sort of interesting how the gear for this plugin, this platform rather, is selected. In this case, it's super interesting because they've done a lot of amps that are like those, those staples that everyone knows and everyone loves, like, your Marshalls and your rectifiers and, everything else. But they've also got stuff like Splawn. They've got a Sovtech right here. They've got a JSX. They've got all kinds of different stuff in here that is very much off the beaten path. They've got they've got Krankenstein, and they also tell you right under the amp what it's based on. They don't make you guess too fucking hard by the way they all look pretty authentic, but they do give you the option right below to be like based on this or that. And I would honestly say that if you have 3 months and you're kind of active and you're playing a lot or you're writing a lot or you're recording a ton, try this out for 3 months. 3 months, $30, and check it out. Because in my opinion, you're absolutely gonna find lots of stuff that you really enjoy. Oh, I just nuked my settings, but that's okay. Not a big deal. If you're just dropping in, wow, we've had 10 people here pretty consistently today. Thank you so much for dropping in. I appreciate each and every one of you. If you're not chatting in the chat, come on, jump in. This is a little bit of a community that we've kind of started here, and we love everybody to be as vocal as they can be. Even if you're a beginner user that's just wanting to kind of immerse and get it, and just to get involved and just kind of listen, feel free to jump in, ask questions. Don't feel intimidated whatsoever to ask us questions. If it's something that's like super simple, we may just give you a link and be like, bro, here's a link, and that should cover it, you know, and rather than going through a whole spiel. Most of the stuff, the really easy going, like the entry level stuff, has been covered by someone that's got a nicer backdrop, a lot better information, and has put together a very comprehensive guide that's more than just like a gear chat version of like, all right, you got to do this, and this. You know, people that have actually sat down and made some really killer content on how to get people from never having used an amp sim or a DAW or anything straight into like, wow, I'm using this stuff. One thing I would tell you for a beginner, don't get tempted to go down and get reliant on the standalone crutch. A lot of new users say they get involved and they find that they don't need a DAW because everything is standalone. I can use the standalones. They don't learn how to use a DAW, and then eventually it's going to come for you. You're going to find a plugin that just doesn't have a standalone or something else. You're going to want to start recording some music. My full-on suggestion is for anybody coming in brand new, 100%. Learn how to use a DAW from the beginning. Get into standalones later if you want to save some convenience. You know, you want to create some more convenience, whatever. But learn how to use a DAW. Do not get reliant. Do not start with standalones. Do not recommend standalones to new users. Teach them how to use the DAW. Take an hour, take a couple hours. Teach them how to use a DAW. Really simple. Create one track. Add plugin, and then go from there, and get them started with Reaper. It's free to get going. You know what I mean? That's the best way to do it. Yes. Rest in peace. Some Like It Loud Productions. What were they called before Ugertone? Was it Some Like It Loud? Something Like It Loud? What was it called again? Anyways, yes, indeed. Ron, and I'm not going to say Tony because I've actually don't think I've talked to Tony more than 2 or 3 times in all the years that I've been associated with that company. Gosh, I can remember years ago, one of the very first people from one of the very first developers I met was Ron. He was out there and he was very, very approachable. And he immediately, when I kind of told him, like, this is who I am, this is what I'm doing, I have no idea what I'm doing. This is when I first started Honest Amp Sim reviews well back in the day. And he was very, very nice to me. He sponsored my very first contest. We got going, and man, it was a blast. And ever since then, we've kept in touch. I talk to him, you know, fairly regularly, and he's a really, really just a genuinely nice person that works his ass off to provide, you know, affordable and fun things for you know, people making their own music at home. And he's now doing Loudstack, is his new company. If you want to follow Loudstack, Loudstack, I think, Loudstack. And he's doing MIDI, and he's doing NAM captures and some other stuff that is just super cool stuff that he's going to be up to. Just got a business grant as well, which is super cool. But yes, it's sad to see any developer close up shop, and I don't fully know why they do. Just being straight. Okay, I mean, I'm just being straight with you guys on that. I don't necessarily, I mean, I know it takes a lot to update. That was one thing where developers kind of end up shooting themselves in the foot when they release a lot of plugins. Is it turns out now there are a lot of updates to do to a lot of plugins, so it becomes kind of tough to keep up with. And that can be, you know, it's just, that's in itself is a ton of fucking work, and it just is. But to close up shop, you know, is I don't know. I mean, to me, I don't think I would necessarily close up shop as much as I might explain to my customers that, listen, all right, we're running bare bones. I'm going to be releasing, I'm going to be working somewhere else. I'm going to be doing stuff. I'm going to be maybe doing one plugin a year, maybe one plugin every 2 or 3 years, depending. But I'm still here. I'm still around. These plugins will not be updated anymore. We cannot devote time to that or resources to updating the plugins. So the versions they're at, that's it. That's it. That's it. They're where they are. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know, man. It's sad to see a company go, and that's just my theory on it. It might get Loud Productions. That's right. We're gonna get chuggy now. Actually, get chuggy with this this bad boy here, and let's see what we got here. And I'm gonna make sure that I'm not too loud. We're gonna scoop it a bit to start with because I want to make it nice and thrashy. Wow, wonderful. Sounds great. It does. I don't want to back off that too much more than I already have. Although I could back it off. No. Okay. I was trying to itch my lip, but that didn't work. Man, that sounds good. All right, I got to catch up with comments here. Yes, indeed, their very last sale, guys. If you've got $100 and you really do like having a lot of drum software around and lots of MIDI around, get it. Okay, just buy the bundle. Their drum software is legit. It's lower cost. Because of the way it's produced, and it's also lower cost because they didn't have to rent $9 million worth of studio space to get it done, and so on and so forth. But all their drum software is super cool. If you like routing, the routing method, I never really enjoyed the routing method. I do things a little bit differently. So for me, I pretty much only use TuneTrack Superior Drummer 3, and it's just kind of better for my workflow. But as far as their drum stuff goes, I mean, guys, how many drum plugins do they even have? Is it 20, 25? Like, it feels like they have at least 20 drum plugins. I could be way off on that. Maybe they have 12, maybe they have 15, but maybe more. I'm not sure how many products are in it. The amp sim that they put out, not my favorite, if I'm being straight up. I didn't like it a ton. I didn't also, they have their IR loader, which is cool, and it's worth a shot. Give it a shot, because if you like some different kinds of tones, they have this neat little IR like virtual cabinet plugin. Check it out. It's like a 3D dragon kind of thing. You'll like it. I'm sure you'll like it. But if you don't, it's okay, because if you're only paying $100 for it, that's not even what you're paying for a premium amp sim these days at full price, for most companies, right? So, yeah, I don't know. As far as a collaboration goes with Vadim, we have a bunch of collaborations already kind of coming up. So we would be more than open. This is like the 5th time I've dropped my pick. I gotta love dropping that pick. I would love to do something with Vadim, but the thing is, he can't service Mac users, and it kind of sucks to leave people out. And that's the only downside. Hey. Anyhow, thanks for sticking around. I've got 9 folks in here today. Freyskin, nice to see you. Heavy Metal Chainsaw, wonderful to see you. Andy, Eddie, Bo, for everyone. It's just wonderful to see everybody. Kind of needed a positive kick in the ass today. Today is my I have a day off, and then I go back to work for 4 days, and then I am off for the next 2 months. So I'm going to be doing a lot of different things, hopefully getting a lot of work done. I say that now, but there's really nothing to stress me out too hard in the summer months. I am a disc golf tournament director and promoter in the area as well, so that keeps me pretty busy, but it's a pretty minimal schedule. I only have 4 or 5 events throughout the entire season to worry about, and really only one in the summer months. So should be cool. It should be cool. And what are we doing today here? We're checking out the STL AmpHub. What I would like to be doing is each month I'd like to do a little video about the new whatever's new to AmpHub that month. I would love to do a little video, even if it's 10-20 minutes each month, and just do that, because they've been really cool with me over the years, just letting me have the subscription. And I've done a lot of different content on it, but I think what I'll be doing is just like a monthly video where not live, just be 10-20 minutes, and throw it up, and hopefully people dig it. In this particular case, we've explained that this is based on a variation of the original XXX and with a different tube type, and it sounds awesome. I almost like the rhythm channel more, as typically I tend to like to do anyway. Yeah. Go Oilers indeed. I'm not an Oilers fan, although they were my childhood team, because Wayne Gretzky. I grew up with Wayne Gretzky in the heat of Wayne Gretzky's prime and his popularity. So I grew up a Leafs fan, but I was told that I was no problem if I wanted to, because my old man was like, "You're a Leafs fan. You're growing up a Leafs fan, and that's the way it is." And both my stepdad and my dad were Leafs fans. I grew up a Leafs fan and a Jays fan, but I was told that my dad, both my dad and my stepdad loved Wayne Gretzky so fucking much that they're like, you know what, that's acceptable. It's acceptable if you want to go like the Oilers, knowing full well, it died off eventually. Wayne Gretzky was traded, and I absolutely fucking refused to like the Kings. And I hated Wayne Gretzky after that. I didn't hate him, but I very much disliked that move very much. I was very angry as a child when Wayne Gretzky was traded to the Kings and everything else happened. But it is what it is. And as far as the Oilers go tonight, yes, man, gosh, they deserve a cup. That team has played well. They got to win this game tonight. When you see a team come back from 3-3-0, they absolutely have to go all the way. It's just so like, oh man, it'd be so brutal to get all the way there and then to have that fall apart, man. That would be really unfortunate. Exactly. Like Hulk Hogan. People, and I'm comparing Hulk Hogan to Wayne Gretzky on the line of like people that don't know pro wrestling and people that don't give a fuck about pro wrestling. They absolutely, it's like people that don't love shred guitar know who Eddie Van Halen is. Oh yeah, I know. Do you know who Steve Vai is? Not a clue. Do you know who Joe Satriani is? Not a clue. But I know that Eddie Van Halen, oh, he's got the eruption, diddly diddly diddly, I get it, yeah. It's got, Hot for Teacher, great song. I'm curious, because the original XXX was designed for George Lynch, I'm very curious as to how close, did he just say, because how do I explain this? He's very well known for having never really used his signature amps live. He's had like 2 or 3 different signature amps. Like there's the Randall, and he had some other stuff going on, but he's very well known to have never used any of those amps live. It's always just been his snakeskin SLO 100 Soldano mic'd up backstage, while the other ones are just sort of for face value. And Nuno Betancourt does the same thing. If I'm not mistaken, even Pantera did the same thing for at least a short period of time. Slayer does the same thing now. Megadeth did the same thing for a while, where just the amps that you were seeing with your eyes weren't the ones that were being used, even though they appeared to be on and mic'd. There was nothing actually coming out of them, and it's well played. In some cases, they weren't mic'd, and they weren't on. As the case of Nuno Betancourt, he just takes his amps and rolls them up on stage with Rihanna, and keeps it and just plays around. No one really factors in, like, there's no mics on that. And I don't even think, do I see a power switch? Is it even plugged in? Like, but in any event, I'm wondering with the XXX, how close they were allowed to get. Like, did he tell them that he wanted it to sound like, he wanted it to sound like a Soldano SLO? Does he care how it sounds, or is it just like, hey, here's a kick-ass fucking amp, we want to put your name on it so we can sell a whole bunch, put it up in your back line for a couple of years, call it a day, and see what happens? I mean, that's definitely been part of a lot of different marketing over the years for a lot of different gear, where people just don't use it. But yeah, who knows? I'm really curious myself. What's the note I'm looking for? And if you're curious, I'm playing Ibanez Iceman that has the Bill Lawrence USA L500XL in the bridge and a Gibson Classic 57 in the neck. And the Gibson Classic 57 is still just not set up very well. I don't think it's long for this guitar. I think I'll be replacing it with something else. Don't know what just yet, but I think that it's probably going to come out undetermined at this point, but we'll see. In any event, we've got 10 people in here all day. Man, this must have been a good day and a good time to do a stream. Thank you very much for tuning in, everybody. I appreciate you guys dropping in. In the first half, we went over the Mercurial Audio Ampbox 1987X-SG. It's a wonderful new Marshall. Guys, if you have not checked out Ampbox yet from Mercurial Audio, go and check out Ampbox ASAP. If someone can hammer the link in the comments, this will be, I've been super lazy with putting my details and thumbnails up, guys. That is my intention for today, or at least in the next few days, to go and put all my links up and everything else so that you guys can have that and it doesn't look like I'm an absentee YouTuber. I hate calling myself a YouTuber. Gosh, do I ever dislike it very much. Now, I'm going to go back to the rhythm channel of this. Actually, you know what? Hold on. Let's go to the clean. How's the clean? Is it good? Is it bad? Whoa! That's loud, bro. Calm down. Wow, that is... Okay, hold up. Sounds pretty good. I haven't really done much to it. I'm going to take a whole bunch of mids out of that and warm it up a little. Too shabby. I forgot. I still had the screamer. Turn off the tube screamer for a second. Oh man, that sounds way better. Not bad at all, guys. Nice, warm, clean tone. And you wouldn't have thought that the original XXX was going to have much of a clean tone if it was designed for George Lynch. It probably wasn't. I don't know. Maybe it was a bit of an afterthought clean tone, but it's not. It actually sounds to be a really nice clean tone, actually. And I'm pretty stoked on this. I'm excited that on the 3120. I just don't want you guys to think that there's options paralysis. We've gone over the fact that there's a billion amps in here, from, Bad Cats to Fenders, Peaveys, Cranks, Revs, all kinds of different stuff. Little tiny lunchbox Fort and Sigil that sounds super crushing. Like, just, okay, I'm feeling like I want to do that today. So you know what? Let's do that. Let's hit the boost. And perfect. Okay, so I can just jump into this amp if I'd like. Okay. Then we go over here. Now we're going to go to a more transparent overdrive, which for me, I'll just go with the old Maxon 808. Simple, easy. By the way, if I ever miss something that you say or anybody says and you really want to get it through to me in the comments, I do apologize. I don't always go back through it either, so I do apologize. I try to keep up if I can. So that sounds great as is. And that is based on the Fort and Sigil, the forbid symbol. Switch over to the metal tone. That sounds just crushing, absolutely crushing. Let's turn on. I did turn it on. Okay, good. Or did I? Oh, good. It is on. Man, that sounds fucking great. Superb. If you've never used AmpHub before, like I said, go grab it for 3 months. The cabinet section is pretty awesome. Although I'm not going to lie to you guys, I tend to, when I fire it open, the default cab that they have set up here is so fucking great. I just tend to leave it. I leave it right where it is. It sounds fucking awesome. It's one of my favorite cabinets ever made. 412 angle, a big fat 412 angle, which is one of my favorites. So I just kind of leave it. And especially when I'm auditioning different amps, I won't sit around and try to find a different cab per amp. I'm going to try to find one cabinet that I like, one cabinet or one setup that I like so much that I can just keep firing different amps through, and usually they sound pretty good. So and this is again, this is AmpHub, and I'm just scrolling through finding rad stuff to use, and it doesn't take you very long. It doesn't matter what kind of guitar player you might be. I mean, I've heard it before. I've heard it all before. It's all made for metal guys. It's all made for this or that. The only type of player that I don't think benefits from AmpHub very much is our bass players. There's not yet. They're trying and they're throwing little dabs here and there of stuff in the plugin, but generally I don't think that there's very much in here for bass players. There's enough stuff where if you're a guitar player and you're trying to, you want a really good bass tone to work with, yes, absolutely. There'll be enough there for you. You want a good bass tone just to kind of, record something and get that bass track good and get it down and sounding pretty crushing. Yes, absolutely. You can do it all under the same roof here. And I think that pretty much everybody can get something out of this. I don't care if you're a country guy or a jazz guy or a blues guy or an extreme metal only type player, or you're all classic rock, or maybe you just only like to sit around and learn nothing but new album, new wave of British heavy metal. Maybe that's your thing. Well, guess what? There's going to be a lot for you, a lot for everyone under the hood here. I don't care what your style is. There's going to be something for you. And there's also going to be something for you in the drive pedals. Look at the amount, not just drive pedals, but look at the pre-effects that you have access to here. Absolutely fat stack of awesome pedals. Look at this stack of pedals. And there's a couple of I'm gonna try these. There's gonna be a bass stream coming pretty soon, guys. I've got 3 or 4 built up bass plugins that I got to try out, and that's usually what I wait to happen, is some good bass stuff to come out so I can pry myself on for a bass stream. It's not that I don't like doing them, it's just I'm not a gifted bass player, so you have to bear with me. Not that I'm a gifted guitar player either, but I feel more confident on a guitar. And now, of course, your post effects, also a fair bit here to choose from, although albeit not quite as much. There's pretty much everything you're going to need for your post effects section is going to be right here. And with that, we are going to shut her down, guys. I've done a couple of hours here. I've had a good time with y'all. I'm going to shut her down, and I've got a bunch of different things that we've got to do around the house. It was nice to have a day off and be able to finally be able to get on here. Apologies again that I was not able to get on here this weekend, but as I've said, I refuse to come on here and fake it. I refuse to come on here when I'm in a terrible mood or feeling sad, as it was this past weekend due to the loss of our little Bun. We're going to miss her for sure. And you know what, guys? We've got plenty of fuzzy little critters around here. You'll see them laying around in the background. Do say hello when you see them. Although none of them are joining me right now, which is a little strange because normally they're all passed out on the couch behind me. Anyways, guys, I'm going to try to be on here again this coming weekend. Definitely Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, one of the three. Then the following Monday, guys, this coming Monday, I'm going to be, not this today, but like next week, the coming Monday, I'm going to be doing a whole bunch of streams. All like, I'm not sure how many times a week. I'm aiming for 2 or 3, if not 4 times a week throughout the summertime. So don't hold me to it. I'm going to be about 90 minutes. Going to be single product based on a lot of the moments. So we'll see. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for stopping by. I will see you guys again very, very soon, I'm sure. Thank you. Thank you so much for being part of this community. And we're starting small, and we might stay small, but you know what? We're here. We're getting together. We're talking plugins. Exactly what I want. You know what? Thank you for being part of that. And I will definitely see you guys next time. Cheers.